Well, I have to do a little research there.
So, what kind of bird are you expecting to see it then?
Well, brightly colored birds like this oriole, and color is important for photographers, and that'll be one of my interests. And then maybe some action things like, you know, snakes eating something.
So that is any issue you're concerning, or?
Issues. Well, there's always issues when you travel. And in that particular area, I guess safety and security might be an issue. So I have to check that out and make sure I'm not in the less secure places.
So what are you going to do? All the pictures after you've taken, you going to have an exhibition or shows? Any?
Well, I don't know, but you know, we have this habit of taking pictures and then leaving them on our computer. I don't want to do that. So there might be some opportunities to make prints. There might be opportunities to put it on web space somewhere. And of course, this group has bonus sessions, so who knows? You might be hearing the first thoughts of a possible bonus session.
So this is going to be this year or next year or any?
Well, if I can get my act together, it'll be this coming February. That's my plan.
Good luck, and we hope to see all your pictures.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Give them a hand. That's good. That's good. Now, is there any way in the world that we could pick on you, Freddie, isn't it, to tell us about yourself? Because everybody, I think, told about
Do I need to come up?
Yeah, why don't you? And
Did she get a monkey?
well, she missed her monkey. That was like.
Do I need the microphone? I love to travel. I've been to the Galapagos Islands. I have been to Mexico and the Southwest in Arizona just this year. Last year I went to Copper Canyon, Mexico, and rode the train. This year I also went to Yellowstone and the Bighorn Mountains and the Tetons and Beartooth Mountains. And I take lots of pictures, and a lot of them are on Facebook under my name.
You should have one of
And that's about it.
Where would you like to go next, Freddie?
I'd like to go to New Zealand. I have some friends that I do a lot of traveling with, but I would also like to go back to Italy and spend some time near Florence and on my, with just a friend or two in a rental car and just travel through the area. I've been on a cruise in the Mediterranean, and I really enjoyed that, but my favorite place was around the Florence area. It was beautiful. So.
How many of you been to Italy? Let's see some hands.
A lot of people.
Yes. How many would like to go to Italy? There you go.
I got lots of pictures of Italy. I have lots of pictures of all the places I've been.
That's good.
So just
If
look up
anybody exchanges
my
emails,
name on your Facebook and you can see it.
if you exchange emails, that's okay. I do not give out emails, but you're welcome to get emails from each other if you wish and exchange. If you want her pictures from Italy,
Just
there
get
you
on
go.
Facebook and look for my name, search for my name, and you can ask to be my friend.
Okay, that's it. Questions that you
Oh,
want.
you need somebody to quiz her?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Bob's got that.
Right, he's the best. Pam, get
I'll
out
be
of
happy
here.
to, as long as I'm not being quizzed.
Well, I thought you were going to New York City with her, but I guess not. Her husband wouldn't like
How are you today?
I'm just
Where
fine.
do you want to go?
Australia.
And when?
Anytime I can get there.
Are you planning on going this winter?
It's just distant plans. I don't have any definites yet.
How long of a trip?
It would take, well, from here I would have to go, if I left Huntsville, I would go, let's say, to Chicago O'Hare, from O'Hare to San Francisco, and then, how long that would take with those stops, and then 14 hours from San Francisco to Sydney. So it's a long trip.
Are you going first class?
Not at $21,000. Economy's looking pretty good.
And what kind of a deal can you get with the airline? You going to get one out of Huntsville Airport? the most expensive airport in the world or something like that?
Actually, if you book far enough in advance, you can fly economy if you're willing to sit like this for about $1,600.
1,600? What do you want to see in Australia?
Spiders. Giant spiders.
And monstrous cockroaches. They have cockroach races down there. No, I want to see everything I can see in Australia, but that is such a large country and continent. I will have to pick 1 or 2 spots and let that be it.
You want to see Ayers Rock, which appears to be out in the middle of absolute nowhere.
Is that the
That's the
monolith?
big- that's this
the
big rock,
One,
yeah.
one total, just a rock, yes. No, I don't think I'll make it to the Outback. I think I will settle for Sydney, and perhaps I would love to fly across the continent after I'm there and go to Perth, but I'll probably choose another closer city.
It sounds like a pretty good deal. Are you going by yourself, or are you going with a friend, or is it none of my business?
I would like to go with a friend, yes.
Oh, okay.
It's always fun to have someone with you when you're traveling.
Oh, okay. But you don't know what, it's going to be winter down there when it's summer here and
Yes,
vice
it is.
versa.
Yes, it is. I have a friend in Sydney, so I could go by myself and hook up with them, but
So it's 14 hours from here or from
From
the
San
coast?
Francisco.
Oh, from San Francisco.
or
Okay.
Los Angeles, either one.
Well, it sounds like you have a good plan. And are you saving for the trip at this time? As we speak?
I have a Visa card that works perfectly.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you. I like that plan. All right, go.
This is Zeke Cummings, host of the #1 program on the day. Today we have with us Jill Davis, Nobel Prize winner for discovering coffee beans can cure cancer. She is returning from spending a month in Costa Rica for her coffee bean plantation, but made time to stop at our station for a brief interview about Costa Rica. Welcome, Jill. I understand that you spent a month in Costa Rica. Many of us know a little about that country. Would you begin to tell us a little information about the country?
Thank you for inviting me. I'd be happy to share some information about Costa Rica. The country's name is the Republic of Costa Rica, meaning the rich coast. It's located in Central America, south of Nicaragua, and north of Panama. The Pacific Ocean is on the western coastline, and the Caribbean Sea is on the right coastline. It takes about 3.5 hours to fly from Atlanta to San Jose, their largest city and capital of Costa Rica.
Tell us about the size and makeup of the population.
It contains almost 20,000 square miles, approximately half the size of Nicaragua, but has about the same number of people, over 4 million. The population is 94% white, mostly Spanish and mestizo, and 3% African, 1% indigenous people. Costa Ricans refer to themselves as Ticos. Spanish is their native language, and almost 75% of the residents are Roman Catholic.
Were the Spanish the first settlers?
Actually, Columbus had an opportunity to settle in the area, but was driven away by the indigenous inhabitants and their diseases. In 1563, the Spanish returned and founded Cartago. Unable to establish a hacienda system based on slave labor, they became small landowners. In 1821, Costa Rica became independent from Spain and eventually became a sovereign republic in 1838.
What type of government do they now have, and who's their leader?
Today, they have a democratic government and are one of the most stable countries in Latin America. The president is chief of state and head of the government. Additionally, they have a legislative assembly, Supreme Court, 2 vice presidents, a cabinet of 57 delegates. Each term is for 4 years. A candidate must sit out a term if they have previously been in office before running for that office again. The current president is Oscar Arias. He is who was previously president from 1986 to 1990. The country is divided into 7 provinces, 81 cantons, and then each canton is divided into districts. And the cantons are run by the local mayors.
How about their economic system?
They have a high inflation and poverty rate. They rely on tourism, exports coffee, bananas, other fruits, as well as cattle to help support their country. Other businesses that have helped boost their economy include textiles and clothing, electronics, food processing, construction, and casinos. Currently, the colony is their currency, and it trades about 575 to the American dollar. The United States is their largest trading partner.
Are there any other interesting facts you can share with us about Costa Rica?
Yes, let me tell you 3 more facts. First, in 1949, Costa Rica became the first country in the world to constitutionally abolish its army. They have no army, but they have a civil guard which carries out necessary duties for protection. The second fact is in 2008, they were ranked 5th in the world and 1st in the Americas for the 2008 Environmental Performance Index. And the third fact is that they plan to become the first carbon neutral country by 2021.
Would you tell everyone why they would want to visit Costa Rica and what they could do there?
Well, don't forget to get your passport ready. If you don't have one, all you need is a birth certificate, a photo, paperwork you can get from the courthouse or post office. It takes about 6 to 8 weeks to process. But now about your visit. Tourism promotes many environmental trips, especially through the tropical rainforest, to see the plants and animals indigenous to the area. Also, there are beaches, active volcanoes, and mountain settings. One can participate in surfing, canopy zip lining, hiking, bird watching, and fishing. Many tourists come to golf during the winter months. The average temperature year-round ranges from about 71 to 81. The one thing you should be aware of, though, is that they only have 2 seasons. January to May is called their dry season, and their rainy season is from June to December. You may want to plan your trip around that.
What else would you like to add? Anything?
Costa Rica has been given the title of the greenest country in the world, ranking 1st in the Happy Planet Index by New Economics Foundation. It measures how much the Earth's resources the nations use and how long and happy life their citizens enjoy as a result. So, is there anyone who wouldn't want to vacation in the happiest place on our planet?
You've convinced me, and I'm sure you've convinced others to book and flights there. Got one more question. Do they have alligators?
I think you're an expert on the alligator situation. Share with us what you know about alligators.
I've been to Costa Rica too. They don't have alligators. They have crocodiles and caimans. Thank you very much. It's been wonderful to meet you.
In your packet, there is a Costa Rica guide that the one that I just gave out today is about the, I didn't page number them, sorry. Needs to be television. Oh, let's talk about
For all the things I've done.
Okay.
Still Willie Nelson. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. Life I love it.
Okay, welcome to Jill's John's on the Road Again. Today we have Tom Presswood. He's from Freeport and has lived in Florida for many years. Since this broadcast spans the United States and overseas, there may be some people who are not familiar with the location of Florida. Tell our listeners where they can find Florida, Tom.
Okay, thank you, Jill. Florida is both south and somewhat to the east of Alabama, the peninsula. I live in Freeport, Florida, which is a small town of about 2,000 people. I live on the Chattahoochee Bay, and the town is made up of primarily white folks with maybe less than 5% Hispanics.
Tell us about the history of Florida.
Florida has been under European domination originally. It was founded at St. Augustine in the early 1500s, where the Spanish established Fort San Marco. After the Spanish, the French held Florida for a while, and then the Spanish again held Florida, and finally the English held Florida. And of course, it's now part of the United States.
What makes Florida so popular?
It's got a temperate climate and low taxes and great beaches, sailing, and fresh seafood.
Is Florida a red or a blue state? And what can you tell us about its political parties?
Well, during the last election, it was almost 50% red and a little more than 50% blue in the last election for president. And but the state itself, the state government is a conservative state government. The governor is Charlie Crist. He's a Republican. And the legislature is dominated by the Republicans. The Democrats are in a minority.
Could you explain to the listeners about Florida's lack of state income tax?
Yes, there is no state income tax. However, there is a sales tax at the state and also administered at the county level. For my county, Walton County, it's 7%. And they obtain most of the funds from property taxes for the schools and roads and other needs the county has. And of course, now we're getting the grants that everybody's getting for the infrastructure.
Can you share with us some other facts about Florida that other people may not know?
Well, one of the probably most important facts is that Florida has a balanced budget for 2009. It was passed this past week. I was down there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and they were announcing that, and I think that's quite an accomplishment when I look at the tax situation, say, in California. We have something called a Billy Bowlegs Festival, a mullet festival. Oh, and also Grayton Beach is one of the world-class beaches. That's about 11 miles from my home.
I don't like seafood, and I can't be in the sun for very long. What would be some things that I'd like to do in Florida?
I would probably direct you to Central Florida, where Busch Gardens is located. And by the way, Polk County, which is right next door to Busch Gardens, has probably the largest cattle ranches east of the Mississippi, so you could get an excellent steak. And also, you could visit Ciudad Ybor in Tampa, which has a great Latina culture and a couple of super restaurants. The Colombian is the one I really like, and I know you have an interest in Spanish.
I've heard of a little park called Disney World too, maybe?
That's up in Orlando. That's almost hour's drive up Interstate 4 from where I was directing you. But I thought you were maybe looking for something a little different.
Well, our time is up, and everyone has enjoyed getting to know the information about the state of Florida. Thank you for being our guest today.
Well, thank you very much, Jill. This has been very enjoyable. And I guess we go on the road again.
On the road again.
Interview me.
Oh, okay, Zeke. Tell me a little bit about your interest in, I guess it was Costa Rica.
That's very good, but wrong.
Okay.
It's the city of Santo Domingo.
Oh, I'm sorry, right. The city of Santo Domingo on Hispaniola.
Right, in the Dominican Republic.
República de Dominico.
Right. and it's Ciudad Santo Domingo de Guzman. I don't know who Guzman was. I've never met the man. The reason I want to go there is it's the city rather than the country. The country has a lot of great things. It has beautiful mountains, great beaches, beautiful waterfalls, a lot of things. But the city is what I want to go to. Off about the country has one more little thing. That's the first place that Columbus landed, according to the people in Santo Domingo. You have more questions, or you want me to just go ahead?
You're doing great.
You might show us where it is on the map. We've got to have people doing that.
Okay, it's right there.
Oh, okay.
It's well, it's between Cuba and Puerto Rico. The Isle is, of course, as the population is mostly multiracial, maybe 15% white and 15% pure black. The rest of it's multiracial. A little bit of Indian thrown in there, not much. Most of them died off. But back to the city. The city has its first university in this hemisphere. It has the first castle in this hemisphere. It's first in a lot of things, but the main reason I want to go there is for this. Anybody know what it is?
Amber?
He's smart. Correct. This piece of amber is not from Dominican Republic, but the Dominican Republic has more amber than any place else in the New World. In fact, it's second to the Baltic Sea for having amber. And I love amber, not the girl, this stuff. It feels good to hold. I used to have a worry rock made from amber, but I lost it and I've been worrying ever since.
I like it, and it's very expensive.
Yes, it is. I've never had a piece that big. There's a beautiful clear piece, and that does look like Dominican amber.
Got it.
How large is the city?
Let me tell you about that. It's about the 30% of the population of the whole country. Any more questions? The country is about 10 million, so about 3 million live in the city. It's a pretty large city. It's divided in two by a river. It has some modern things in it, like it has a subway, a brand new subway that's just opened this year. But I still want to go back to amber.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This piece of amber, I paid more than $100 for. It looks no different than the other, except you look at it closely, you'll see that it's got a mosquito in it. That's $100 without the gold chain.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park? Right. The other thing I love is my knife. I've always loved that knife. However, he's not coated with amber. I want to join these two together. I want to go there, and if someone, and they have a lot of merchants selling amber, you get on the internet and you can find out a bunch about it. They have a museum of amber. Oh, one of danger. When I was looking up that some months ago, they tried to download some Trojan horses to me. So be a little careful about looking at things down there. But it's nice. Anyway, I love the feel of amber. I want this thing to be coated with amber so I can feel it all the time and not have to worry.
All right.
I do know a lot more about the country if somebody's got questions about it, but really I want to emphasize the amber. There's one more little thing you might want to know about it. It's very close to the Puerto Rican Trench, which is the deepest point in the Atlantic Ocean. I had to go in a little geography. Any other questions?
How deep is it?
Right next to Hispaniola is not that deep. It's only about 20,000. It's the average. It's a lot deeper than the average part of the Atlantic Ocean. In the deep part of the Puerto Rican Trench, it's deeper than Mount Everest's top.
Are you from there, or are you just giving us a synopsis of the trips that you?
No, ma'am, I'm a hillbilly from Virginia. Big
And
stone
there
gap.
is more information about it in your packet, and you can look it up if you have to. That's just showing the front of that.
How much would a piece of amber to cover your knife cost, if I may ask?
I doubt if I'll be able to get it in one piece. It probably has to be molded, and amber joins together fairly easily. It is a resin, so it dissolved with quite a few different things, including things like turpentine.
Why do you have such an affection for your knife?
Ma'am?
Why do you have such an affection for your knife? I can understand the amber.
It's just a handy knife. It's got a toothpick.
Yeah, but you can't use those once you get it covered in amber.
Oh, no, just remove the red part and make that amber.
Oh, I see. I thought you were going to encase it in amber.
No.
Like something to wash a mosquito.
No, ma'am.
Are there other stones that are from that region?
Not that I know.
Excuse me, amber's not a stone, but
It's not even a mineral.
it's mineral.
It is not a mineral. A mineral is a natural term, not organic. And it's homogeneous. This particular thing is organic. Coal is not a mineral.
Have you ever seen a knife that had amber
I have not.
handles?
I've looked for them on the internet. They say they have amber handles and it's amber colored handles. Thank
Any
you.
other questions?
Early this afternoon for previous engagement. One of the things I heard Dr. Bonnie say was that we were supposed to find out 15 facts about the place we wanted to visit. So that was one of the things I did. So I'll give you one of the places I'd like to go is Hawaii because, one of the places I'd like to go is Hawaii because it's one of the two states that I've never been to, the other one being Alaska. So some of the interesting facts about Hawaii that you may not know, well, obviously the capital city is Honolulu. It's on the island of Oahu. The principal employer is the government, and the government employs 21% of the people. You know about the Japanese attack that brought the U.S. into World War II. It became our 50th and newest state in 1959. And here's a fact that you might not know. Mount Waialea Mount Waialea on Kauai is possibly the wettest spot on the earth with an average rainfall of 460 inches per year. And I say possibly because depending upon your source, there's a place in Cambodia and a place in India that's also possibly the wettest places, but 460 is pretty wet. The islands stretch for nearly 2,000 miles in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and the state includes over 125 islands, all of them uninhabited, except for the 8 main islands on the eastern end, and one of them, Kahului, is also uninhabited. The chief industries are tourism, defense, sugar, and pineapples. The youngest state is also the largest, longest, and most isolated archipelago on Earth. They have 2 national parks, Hawaii Volcanoes and Haleakala. That would be the first places I'd want to go to. let's see, what else? Kilauea on the Big Island of Hawaii is the most active volcano in the world, erupting almost continuously since 1983. The first known European to visit the islands was Captain James Cook in 1778, and the islands have been going down since then, as far as the ecological damage that's been done in the islands by the Europeans and by us. We have met the enemy, and it is us. And one of the results of the European colonization of Hawaii, Hawaii has 0.2% of the nation's land mass, of the nation's land area, but Hawaii accounts for fully 75% of the nation's known plant and bird extinctions. And that's just a terrible statistic. But that's just one of those things. Mauna Loa on the Big Island of Hawaii is the world's most massive mountain, more massive than the entire Sierra Nevada combined, with 13,679 feet showing above sea level and some 18,000 feet extending below, with a volume of 10,000 cubic miles. It's also the largest shield volcano in the world. And a shield volcano is just this. It's just like a shield shaped. It's not like Mount Fuji, you know, that's cone shaped. The summer high temperatures average about 85 degrees. Winter, if you want to call that, the average temperature is about 78. And the temperatures drop off 12 to 13 degrees at night. Mauna Kea on the Big Island at an elevation of 13,796 feet is a major astronomical site. They have a lot of telescopes up there, and they can actually receive they have actually received as much as 4 feet of snow over the course of a winter. One of the things, the population of Hawaii is about 1,250,000, and it's about 41% Asian, about 21% white, a little over 1% black, and then there's a smattering of Hispanics, and there are quite a few of people of Japanese descent. So those are just some of the reasons I'd like to visit Hawaii. Thank you.
Dam and vicinity.
Okay, and it's in here also. Even though it says iloveindia.com, you'll see it says Hawaii or Amsterdam. Anyway.
Are you going to pass that down?
Oh, you're Jake. How about it? And you know, it says Joyce, and you're.
That is my name.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, I'm named after Joyce Kilmore, the only other male that I know, and he was a very famous poet. His most famous poem is Trees, which you may have heard of.
Oh, yes.
But I do go by Jay. I've been going by Jay for many years. But, you know, any legal document, and certainly my, what am I saying? When I go on trips, I have to have a passport, and that certainly is Joyce. I'm going to talk about Amsterdam and vicinity. I have been there. I went there 2 years ago, and so I'm talking a little bit about that. And when I say in vicinity, I want to include 3 other locations: The Hague, which is about 35 miles away, Delft, and Aalsmeer. Now, probably nobody's heard of Aalsmeer, but that's really something I want to mention when I get to the end. That's the last item I'm going to talk about. Amsterdam is the most densely populated city in the world. There's 750,000 people that live in Amsterdam, but Amsterdam is really a series of islands connected by bridges. There's well, later on I'm going to tell about how many bridges, but it's about 1.5 million in the metropolitan area. It's the most planned city in Northern Europe, and it was the center of the world's economy back in the 17th century. Amsterdam is the capital of the Netherlands, but not the seat of government. The Hague is where Parliament resides, about 35 miles from Amsterdam. Amsterdam is the most visited city in the Netherlands, about 3.5 million foreign visitors annually. Holland is incorrect. The Netherlands is the name of the country. Holland is 2 of 12 provinces. There's a North Holland and a South Holland, which are 2 of the 12 provinces that make up the country, the Netherlands. The Netherlands is part of the European Union and uses the euro. June to August is the warmest and accommodates the most visitors. Some statistics. There's 173 nationalities reside in Amsterdam. There's 600,000 bicycles, 165 canals, 1,281 bridges to connect you up from island to island. There's 6,800 houseboats, which are residences, with permanent residents. 51 museums, 6,100 art galleries, 16,000 concerts, performances annually, and 1,400 cafes and bars, and 1 palace. 2 galleries feature Vincent van Gogh and Johann Vermeer. And Vermeer is famous for the girl with the golden earring. And here's a picture of the girl with the golden earring.
That's what the problem is.
Anne Frank's apartment is here and is very popular. Tourists must arrive early to get in on any given day. The Netherlands is a constitutional monarchy since 1815. Queen Beatrix is a symbolic head of state, but she does nominate all of the country's mayors, and she signs all of Parliament's bills. The lower house of 150 members is directly elected by the population for a 4-year term. The upper house of 75 members is elected by the legislatures of the 12 provinces. The Prime Minister is elected by Parliament and usually represents the majority party. Prime Minister currently is Jan Peter Balkenende, who represents the CDA party or the Christian Democrats. Jumping to The Hague. The Hague is 36 miles away and is the 3rd largest city of 444,000 or 1.01 million in the metro area. The Hague is the home of 150 international organizations. It is the legal capital of the world. The International Court of Justice and the International Criminal Court are located at The Hague. Jumping to Delft. Delft is famous for Delft porcelain, Johann Vermeer, the artist, and the fact that the city nearly disappeared in 1654 when a gunpowder magazine blew up. Now I'm going to Aalsmeer. Aalsmeer really intrigued me when I was there. It's the world's largest flower auction. They sell 10 to 20 million flowers per day during an 8-week season, a total of about somewhere between 10 and 15 billion flowers in the 8-week season. There are 3 venues. Each one is 3 football fields long and about the width of a football field, so there's 9, in effect, football fields. Each one of the buildings has 3 flower auctions, and they operate from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Every day during the 8-week season. Each auction has a clock-like face marked off in cents euro. The clocks count backwards from 2 euros, and a bunch of individuals sit there with laptops, and as the clock ticks back, somebody presses the button on his laptop, and that means he bought per stem. He's paying like 67 euro cents per stem, but he's buying 100,000 stems. You know, they buy these in fairly large quantities. Flowers arrive at night from all over the world in jumbo jets and enter one end of the building and move from one end to the other end between that early morning and 11 o'clock. And as the auctions go on, people know where to move the flowers around. So they start at one end, coming in from where they arrive from. At the other end, beginning around 11 a.m., they start loading them back on the jumbo jets to go where they're going to, depending on who bought them. And it's really an interesting sight. And I also have a picture of the Alsmeer flower auction. That's my story about Amsterdam and vicinity.